As Chancellor of the University, I shall now proceed with the conferment of an honorary degree. Would Paul Edward Alex Baines please come forward? The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Pat Walsh, will read the citation.
Chancellor, Paul Edward Alex Baines is a distinguished investment banker and business leader whose strategic and governance talents have seen him appointed to the boards of some of New Zealand's largest public, private and not-for-profit organisations. Paul Baines received a Bachelor of Commerce and Administration from Victoria University in 1973 and a few years later went on to complete a Master of Public Policy while working full-time, graduating with distinction in 1978. He began his career at Jarden and Company in 1973, an organisation he was with for 20 years in a variety of executive and leadership roles, including as partner from 1978. From 1988 to 1993, he was Chief Executive Officer of the company, which by then had become Credit Suisse First Boston, New Zealand, with responsibility for advising companies and government entities on financial, commercial and strategic issues. From there, he became a full-time professional director. Paul Baines has held a broad range of governance and trustee positions. Boards he has served on include Comalco New Zealand, EDS New Zealand, Fletcher Challenge and Fletcher Building, Goffgoff and Hamer, New Zealand Post, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, Telecom, the Todd Corporation and the New Zealand Treasury. Many of the directorships he has accepted have also enhanced the public good of our society. As well as paid roles, Paul Baines has also contributed his skills and experience to a number of non-profit organisations, including Barnardo's New Zealand, Chamber Music New Zealand, the Gillies McIndoe Research Institute, IHC Foundation, the New Zealand Institute of Economic Research, the Young Enterprise Trust and Queen Margaret College. Paul Baines has continued to provide expertise and support to his alma mater, Victoria University. He played a key role in the establishment of the New Zealand Institute for the Study of Competition and Regulation in 1998 and was the first chair of the Project Management Committee of the Professorial Fellowship in Monetary and Financial Economics, sponsored by the Reserve Bank. He is a former board member of Te Koki, New Zealand School of Music. He served as a trustee of the Victoria University Foundation for 14 years, and his support of Victoria University was recognised in 2003 when he received a Hunter Fellowship. During his career, Paul Baines has not sought out positions that place him in the public eye, yet his influence and leadership in commerce is widespread. Less well known is his lifetime interest in and influence on public policy, particularly as it relates to commerce. This interest was apparent from the beginning of his career when he studied for a Master of Public Policy while working for Jarden and Company. That company undertook considerable public policy work during his tenure as Chief Executive Officer, especially in the turbulent 1980s. Paul Baines' outstanding skills and performance in design of governance and financial and strategic management has seen him receive a number of accolades. He was made a Fellow of the New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants in 2004 and a Fellow of the Institute of Directors of New Zealand in 2005. Through his many directorships, he has made an important and influential contribution to his country, and for many years has contributed energy, time and knowledge to the growth and governance of Victoria University. Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you Paul Edward Alex Baines, Bachelor of Commerce and Administration, Master of Public Policy with distinction, Fellow of the Institute of Directors of New Zealand, Fellow of the New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants, for the degree of Doctor of Commerce, honoris causa, in this university.
By the authority of Victoria University of Wellington, I, Ian McKinnon, Chancellor, now confer on Paul Edward Alex Baines the degree of Doctor of Commerce, honoris causa.
It's now our pleasure to invite Paul Baines to give the graduation address.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Council, university staff, distinguished guests, graduands, and your family and friends. I am delighted to be part of this wonderful occasion as we acknowledge and celebrate those graduating today. It is indeed an honour to be here. Graduands, after years of commitment with the attendant challenges and successes, highs and lows, you are entitled to be very proud of your achievements. I'm sure I speak for your families, friends, and members of the university fraternity when I convey my warmest congratulations to you all. I would also like to acknowledge the vital help and encouragement that many graduands will have received over the years from parents, family members, friends, classmates, lecturers, and support staff. University life is sometimes a difficult trial. The caring involvement of other people is often central to addressing the travails that accompany the student's lot. I've no doubt that graduands are very grateful for the support you have received from others, some of whom will be here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I am both very appreciative and humbled to be recognised today by my alma mater. It is a deeply moving experience for me. Victoria University of Wellington played a big part in my life a long time ago. Since then, I have greatly enjoyed an ongoing involvement with the university, and over the years have been fortunate to engage with many exceptional people associated with its activities. No doubt, like many of you, in recent days I've reminisced about being a student, beginning in my case 45 years ago. Consistent with the common experience, I encountered the good, the bad, and the indifferent realities of student life. As a fellow who was brought up in a rural community, simply being in the grand metropolis of Wellington was at first something of a discordant challenge, and then, over time, a liberating and happy journey. I expect many graduands could recount a similar tale. Like all who have experienced university life, perhaps on occasion better described as an exercise in subsistence rather than existence, I'm a repository of many anecdotes and stories. I shall never forget one stark episode that occurred at the beginning of the very first lecture I attended. I remember it vividly. The good professor strode into a cavernous lecture theatre, unceremoniously dumped his papers down, looked over his rather threatening glasses, and barked, or at least it seemed so at the time, "Look at the person on your immediate left, and then the person on your immediate right. Only one of you," he intoned grimly, "will pass my course." Well, that's certainly registered. My immediate reaction was, of course, to assume that he wasn't expressing misgivings about his own competence. Nor, I thought, was he advancing an uncharitable commentary about the quality of the raw material in front of him. Rather, I concluded our master was telling us that we were obliged to do some work. He was right, of course. Yes, the old admonition about the virtue of hard work, a notion that even Einstein promoted, held sway. Graduates will no doubt concur. Most of us have no difficulty in recalling at least a few great teachers we've encountered whilst at university. There were a number that I met. I'm bound on this occasion, however, to mention two in particular who stand out. Professor Sir Frank Holmes, who passed away 2 years ago, and Professor Don Trow, who is not able to be here this evening. I fondly recall their incisive intellect, engaging demeanour, and encouraging attitude. They truly made a difference. In the years to come, I'm sure most graduates will have occasion to recall teachers who, for you, also made a vital difference. Since leaving university, I've been very fortunate to work in a wide range of organisations. The first 20 years of my career was principally associated with investment banking, advising businesses and public sector entities on financial, commercial, and strategic matters. I enjoyed the period enormously. Over the last 20 years, most of my work has involved governance or board roles in both the private and public spheres, as well as a range of charities. This has been a tremendously stimulating and rewarding experience, both intellectually as well as emotionally. May I say that, contrary to what some believe, I have no doubt that the need to engage both the head and the heart is fundamental to achieving and sustaining good outcomes in any worthwhile organisation. Seeking to balance the sometimes competing elements involved represents a difficult or even anguishing challenge, but that is simply the reality of life. Over the years, I've had the privilege of knowing, and in some cases working with, a number of extraordinary people. Some are public figures, are well known, many are not. I've often reflected on people's attributes that I most admire. It's inevitably, of course, a subjective matter. There seems to be an almost inexhaustible avalanche of how to succeed books and related scribblings, offering 101 pointers to the earnest reader. At the risk of denying the obvious, my unfashionably very short list, expressed in shorthand, is 1. Hard work. Yes, the oft-repeated adage still holds, but that is not a revelation to graduates. However, let me say that if you think you've met your enduring quota of hard work in the last few years, in the vernacular, get real. Hasn't really started. 2, integrity of purpose and aspiration. A big and sometimes challenging dimension, but in simple terms, it means seeking to behave honestly. Try to be true to yourself and to others. 3, courage. Seek to demonstrate a commitment to engage, to get on with it, to think differently, and to express a contrary view when you must. So, graduates, there you have it. In summary, apply yourself, do the right thing, and be brave. Good luck. Before concluding, I would like to refer to my governance roles in charitable organisations as distinct from business. In a few words, it has been an invaluable and enriching experience. I have been exposed to different people, different issues, different thinking, and some tough challenges, sometimes quite unrelated to those one encounters in mainstream business. I am undoubtedly a better person for that experience. Some graduates, I'm sure a minority, will commit their working lives to being involved in the charitable sector. For the many others, I encourage you to consider how you might contribute, not just financially, but through using your skills, experience, energy, and networks. You don't have to wait until you're older. Please think about what you might do now. Graduates, this is your day. Congratulations again to all of you. I extend my very best wishes as you pursue your aspirations. May you leave here determined to make a difference for the better, both for yourselves and for others. Thank you.